Jungle greetings, I am Angela M. GUARTE, and I will be explaining to you the user registration.html. So we have the typical HTML skeleton. So we will focus on the body. So we have the main container, and inside the main container we have the form class, and we have the h2, the h header 4, and of course the form. So what is inside the form? We have the role, which is a select option. The next is an input text for the username as well as the email, or rather it is in a type of email, and the password is in a type input type password. Of course, we have the button for the submission of the entry, and we will call the script inside the user registration form. So moving on to the user registration JavaScript. So here we have the document that get element by ID. So we will add an event listener to the submit button. So also we have the event that prevent default. So here are the following variables needed for or are needed inside the script. So we have the username, which is the element ID for the username and its value. The next is the email, which is also the email value in the user registration.html, as well as for the password, password.value, the role.value. So here we have an if statement. So the following codes are for the checking or of the information entered into the input field. So first we have if the username is having the length less than 3, it will alert the user to or must enter at least 3 characters of username. So the next one here we have the email pattern, and the following is just the general pattern for the email verification. So if email.test email, so if it is not equal to the following code, it will alert the user to enter a valid email address. So the password same as the username. It will have the statement if password that length is less than 6, it will return an alert to the users stating that the password must be at least 6 characters long. So here we have putting all the values inside a local storage. This is how it will be shown or printed in the local storage. Here, checking if the account role selected is admin or customer to redirect to a specific page. We have if role is equals to customer. So if the user picked the customer, they will be redirected to the main HTML, which in this case is the index.html, and it will alert the user that they will be redirected. Same goes for the admin. So if they choose the admin, they will be redirected to the product inventory.html, and they will also be alerted that they will be redirecting using this alert statement. So after that, the values for each of the fields will be reset, and that is all for user registration. Again, I am Angela M. GUARTE, and Dangal greetings, Master. Thank you.
So, greetings everyone. My name is Leonard Andre R. Samaniego, and I'll be discussing the product inventory.html. And I just discussed the contents of the HTML code. So, first is the head. So, as you can see from the head section, we have a variety of links here. So, these links are important for the fonts as well as the the CSS styles. So, next is the body section where we can find all of the contents of the HTML. So, inside the body, we also have a container here. So, this holds all the necessary details of the form. And we have a different forms here. So, the first form is for the product name. So, we have a label and an input. And the second form is the category selection where users can select product category. And it has a variety of options. So, next form is the price. So, here users can input price for the product. And next is the stock quantity. So here admin users can input numbers for the stock quantity as well as a button so that they can add the product. And finally, we have a table here. So this table displays all the products that the admin adds. And we have a script here, which is the main uh, link for the functionalities of this HTML.
Dangal greetings. My name is Candelario, and I will be explaining the JavaScript for the product inventory. So let's start. So first, we have the let products and let editing index. So this line loads any existing products from the browser's local storage, and if there are none, it starts with an empty array. And the editing index is used to check if we're editing a product or adding a new one. So next, here from the let form to let button add product, this part grabs all the form inputs and table body from the HTML. So we can use them for our code here. And next, here for the button add product, in this part, when the add product button is clicked, it first checks if all fields are filled, and if yes, it creates a product object with the name, category, price, and stock. And if we're not editing, it adds the product to the list. And if we are editing, it updates the existing product based on the editing index. And then Then we save to the local storage and call the generate products to refresh the table. And next, for the generate products function, in this function, it clears the table. It clears the table first and repopulates it with the updated product data. For each product, it creates a table. It creates a table row with the details, and it also creates an edit and delete buttons, which is here. And next for the event listener for the button edit, here we can edit our product. And when you click the edit, it fills the form with that product's detail. And so you can also update it. It also changes the button to update product, and it sets the editing index. The next for the delete, to delete a product, by clicking delete, it removes the selected product from the list and local storage. Then once again, it refreshes the table. Then to save to local storage, this function over here, this function stores the product list, so it stays even after refreshing the page. And last, to call the generate products, this just makes sure that the table is loaded with existing data when the page first opened. So that is all for the JavaScript. Thank you for listening.
Greetings everyone. So for the script.js, it contains a jQuery script that filters product dynamically based on user input. It ensures that users can search for products by name and filter them by category in real time. So when the document is fully loaded, the script initializes the filter products function, which retrieves the search query and selected category. So it then loops through each product card element, extracting the product name and category. The script checks whether the product name includes the search query and whether its category matches the selected filter. If both conditions are met, the product is displayed, otherwise it is hidden. Additionally, if no products match the search and filter criteria, a no results message is displayed. The function is triggered whenever users type in the search bar or change the category dropdown, allowing for an interactive and seamless filtering experience.
So greetings, I'm Fajardo, and today I'm going to explain cart.html and cart.js. So the cart.html file is the shopping cart page of our website. It displays the items users have added, allows them to adjust quantities, remove products, and proceed to checkout. So it uses cartstyles.css for styling and loads the Rubik font from Google Fonts for a clean look. Also at the top, as you can see here, it has a navigation bar with the back to home link that redirects users to index.html. So next, for the main section of this HTML file, it contains a table that dynamically lists cart items including their name, quantity, price, total cost, and action buttons, which are here. For modifications, below the table, the total cost starts at 0 pesos and updates automatically when items change. Also, a proceed to checkout button lets users finalize their purchase. So in here, it's just the footer that includes social media icons for platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest. And here are just the script files. So, as you can see, I have listed the cart.js in here, which will manage the cart functionality like updating items and totals, while this one is a small inline script that ensures when you click the checkout button, it will redirect you to checkout.html. So in short, this page provides a fully functional shopping cart experience, keeping everything interactive and user-friendly. And now let's move on to cart.js. So now moving on to cart.js, this cart.js script manages the shopping cart functionality of the web page. So let's start. For this line, this retrieves the cart data stored in local storage or initializes an empty cart if no data is found. Next, for the function update cart UI, so the function update cart UI is responsible for updating the cart's visual display, including empty cart messages and total price calculations. So next, this is the update checkout button. So this function controls whether the checkout button is active or disabled based on the cart's contents. Next is the add to cart function. So the add to cart function adds items to the cart or updates their quantities, then stores the updated cart in local storage and refreshes the UI. So next, for the function for removing a product from the cart, this section binds the remove button to an event that deletes an item from the cart and updates both local storage and the UI. And next is the checkout button. So the checkout button checks if the cart is empty. If not, it redirects the users to the checkout page. And lastly, the last line, this ensures that the cart UI is updated when the page loads, showing the current state of the cart. And that is all. Thank you.
Hello, greetings everyone. I'm Nancy Brillante, and I'm here to discuss the checkout.html. So to start, this part of the code is the document structure and metadata, and then this part is the style sheets info, so it reconnects to Google Fonts for faster reading. And then this part is the navigation bar. It creates a navigation bar with a link to go back to the homepage. And then this part is the checkout form, containing necessary input elements for user to enter their details. So we have full name that collects the full name of the user, email that collects the email, and this is the type email for validation. And then we have the address, what we call these address fields, which ask for the street, city, and province of the user. And then we have the region selection, which is this part. So it is a drop-down menu for regions, triggers by the calculated delivery fee when change, and it is used in checkout.js to update the delivery cost. Next, we have the delivery fee display. So it displays the calculated delivery fee with the default of 0 pesos. And then this one is for the payment method. So the user can select either cash on delivery, credit card, or e-wallet. And then we have the button here for the confirm order. Next, we have the footer. So it displays the social media accounts such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest. And then for the receipt section, which is initially hidden, so it displays order details after the confirmation. And then this is the transaction confirmation notice. And then we have the script links. So it what we call this loads jQuery for event handling, loads checkout.js, which handles the checkout logic. And then this part or this script saves confirmed orders to protect storage. Okay, now so for the checkout.js, this part of the code is the documentary function. So it ensures the script runs only after the HTML document has to be loaded, and it prevents errors from trying to access elements before they exist. And then this part is the variable initialization. So this one retrieves the card from local storage, or it sets it to an error if there is no stored data. And then for the checkout container, select the table body where cart items will be displayed. And then for the total container, select the total price element. Receipt container selects the receipt section, and for the delivery and total price, it initializes cost-related variables. And then the generate order ID calls a function that creates a unique order ID. And then this part of the code resets total price before calculating it. And then this, if the part is empty, it displays a message and stops the further execution. And then this one, it clears any existing items before inserting any new ones. And then this part of the code loops through each cart item, cleans and converts the price to a number, retrieves the quantity, and calculates the total price for this item, and updates the running total. And then for this part of the code, it creates a table row for each item, including the image, item title, quantity, and the price. And then this one updates the total price display. And then the function generate order ID, it gets the current date and extracts, so last 2 digits of the year, 2-digit month, and 2-digit day. And then this one formats the order ID, and then this one is the one to format the order ID, and this one generate random alphanumeric string. And then this one displaying the order ID field, and then reference order ID. Now for the calculated delivery fee. So this part of the code gets the selected region from a dropdown, which was discussed earlier. And this part of the code sets different delivery fees based on the region. So if the user selected Calabarzon or NCR, the delivery fee is 40 pesos. And if the user selected Ilocos region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Cordillera, Administrative region, Limaroca, and Bicol region, the delivery fee is 60 pesos. And the rest is 80 pesos. So this part of the code updates the delivery fee display. And then this part of the code updates the receipt. And then this one listens for click on the confirm order button and prevents the code from submission. So this gets and cleans user input values, and this one shows an alert and stops the function if any field is empty. And then this is for the prepare order data, stores the order details in an object. And then this one calculates the total price including the delivery fee, and this one saves order details to local storage. And this one displays the order details in the receipt section. And then this also updates receipt items. And then update the total. And then show receipt and hide the checkout form. So this hides the checkout form and shows the receipt. Then
This one clears the cart after or confirmation, and then this last part of the code loads cart data when the page opens.
Mga greetings, my name is Jormich Joben Salcedo, and I am going to explain Order History HTML. Now let's proceed this line. It links an external CSS file, cartstyles.css, to style the page. And then let's proceed to the next two lines. It pre-connects to Google Font to speed up font loading. And then for the next line, it loads the rubric font from Google Font with different styles and weight. And also for nav class, navvar, define a navigation bar with a navbar class. And then for the next line, it creates a clickable link to navigate back to the homepage, which is in the index.html. And then for the order history section, it div class order history container creates a container to display the order history. And then for the next line, it displays the heading your order history. And then for the next line, an empty div with ID order list where JavaScript will dynamically insert order data. And then for the div class container fluid custom footer pb5, it is a full width footer container. Custom footer customs CSS class, and pb5 add padding bottom. And then for the div class row, creates a row for layout organization. And then for the next line, it displays a small heading connect with us. And then for the next line, it uses flexbox, deflex, flex row to arrange item horizontally. And then for the fs3, increases font size and justify content between space icon evenly. And then for the icons, this line is display an Instagram icon. And then for this line, it displays a Facebook icon. And then for this line, it displays a Twitter or X icon. And for this line, it displays a TikTok icon. And then for this line, it displays a YouTube icon. And then for this line, it displays Pinterest icon. And then for the JavaScript link, this is the line. It loads jQuery, a JavaScript library to simplify scripting. And then for this line, it loads an external JavaScript file order history.js that likely fetching and display order history dynamically.
Thank you for that, Mr. Salcedo. And greetings everyone, my name is MEJIA, and I'll be discussing the JavaScript for the order history. So here, defining the class, of course, this will manage displaying past orders, and the constructor, here, it will retrieve orders from local storage, and it will store reference to the element where orders will be displayed, which is order.list, and it will call this that in it to initialize the display of order. And for the initializing the display, which is this part, this will call the display order method to load and show the order once the class is initialized. And for display order method, this will displaying order, displaying all orders in reverse chronological order. And also, if no order exists, it shows no past order, and which is here you have no past order, and it will sort order by dates with newest first, of course, and iterate over each order and generate an HTML card for calling create order card. So here in creating an order card, which is it will generate the HTML layout for each order card. This will convert the date into a readable format, and of course generate the order item HTML using generate items HTML. Also, it will return a full HTML string containing order details like date, items, totals, and payment info, which is here in the table class. Or here this part. So for the last part, for generating HTML for order items, which is this will create the table rows for each items in the order, and it will maps over each item in the order and generate a row with the item's image, name, quantity, price, and total. With this, it will join them into a single string and return it. So here for this part also, the document will ready with jQuery.
So, greetings. My name is Joshua Carl Bon, and I am here to discuss the return HTML and then the return JS, which would allow the customer to return their product if ever there is a problem. So, what we have here is some script and a link to what we use as the jQuery and then bootstraps. We also have here the styles for this page. We have a lot of containers, a lot of buttons in here. So what we have here is a back to home link wherein the customer can go back to home in case they wanted to and don't want to pursue in returning an item. So, however, if ever they want to return their item, we will print out a return form for them. So what we have here is a container, and also another below that is a printed return policy in which it is specified for our shop that we have a 30-day return policy for our most items. So below that, we have a return form in which the customer would need to fill up. So in the return form, it contains the order number, it contains the email, then the product that they wanted to return, and then the reason why they want to return that. So it could be a defective damage, wrong item received, not satisfied with the product, or other reason for that. So it is a drop down. Then next up is the additional details wherein they can type another reasons and onto how or why they want to return the product. Also below that is a submit button wherein if ever they are already satisfied with their request, they can submit the return request. And then this is how a return receipt section wherein we have a receipt that will be formed after their after filling up the form that we have at the top. So we have here the return ID, the order number, the email, the product, and their reason, of course. So also we have the return processing notice. So it will notify the user if their request to return their product has already been received by our system. So also we have here a submit button wherein they can print the confirmation of this return request. Also a back to home button. So what we have here are the footer in which we only included some of the social media platforms wherein the users can contact us. Now moving on to the return.js. So what we have here is the form submission handler wherein it would process the return request, which is the function process return request would have to get the date right now, and then would also get the form data, their order number, their return ID. Of course, return ID would be generated depending on how many return request did the user get. We also have the email, the product, the reason, and the details. So it would also process the date that we have. So all of that will be saved onto our local storage, and then we'll return the data. So it will also show the return receipt. So next one is for the function save return to the storage. So we use JSON.parse for the local storage here, and then we use return.push to add a new return in case the user or the customer would want to return another one. So we also have here a local storage, which we also use a JSON. So we have console.log return save to local storage. So we also have the function the show return receipt. So lastly, for the function show return receipt, it would show or populate the receipt, which would get the return ID, then receipt order number, and then also the receipt email, the receipt product, also the receipt reason. So whenever we need to hide the form and show the receipt, it would also have returns form container that hide and also returns receipt that show, in which we used jQuery to do these things. So that's all for this, and thank you for listening.
Hello, greetings everyone. My name is Rosales, and I'm here to demonstrate to you the midterm project of ours, which is an e-shopping website. Okay, so now let's move forward to the website itself. So we will start with the user registration HTML, which contains the welcome page and of course the forms wherein the user will enter their information. So for this time, we will select store admin profile and we will register a user here. So let's just type in my name here, my email, and let's say let's create a password. So it's just, and then click enter button, and we can see here an alert message that basically says that it welcomes the administrator of the website and it redirects us to the shop's inventory management, basically where this user can input or delete the product of their choice. So let's say our product is a colorful markers and the price, let's say, is 100 pesos. Category is, let's say it's books and stationery, and then the stock quantity, let's say 30, and we will add the product. So let's add another, let's say a smartphone. Price is around 10,000. Category will be electronics and gadgets. Stock quantity, let's say around 40 stocks. So let's add the product. As you can see, it adds the quantity there. Let's say we want to edit the information that we just entered in here in the table. So for that, we can just edit, and the information that is entered in the table will be reflected into the input fields above. So colorful markers, as you can see, we have a typo there, as you can see with the right letter, and let's make it 80 pesos, and we can update the product, and as you can see, it updated the information. And let's say we wanted to delete a record here, you can just click delete, and it will give us a confirmation message. Let's just click OK. As you can see, it deleted the record. Okay, now that we have discussed the administrator profile, let's now move over to the customer profile. So we're back to the user registration page. We can click, instead of store admin, we can pick customer. And then let's just basically enter an example information. So let's say my name and my email and my password. And we can register and log in. And as you can see, the alert message is now different from the previous one. It basically recognizes that it's the customer registering. And can redirect us to the home page or the index.html after we click OK. As you can see, we are now greeted by the web home page itself. Let's say we want to add to cart this colorful markers. As you can see, it's added to cart. And then let's say I wanted a sketchbook, add to cart. And the paintbrush set, add to cart. And we wanted to see our cart. We can just click here, and now you can see that the markers, the sketchbook, the paintbrush are now added to cart after we click the button. As you can see, the items that we have just added to cart shown in this web page, which is the cart.html, and we can actually remove this. So if we wanted to remove the sketchbook, we can just click remove, and now we can proceed to checkout by clicking proceed to checkout. And here we can, this is automatically generated, the order ID, and now we can enter our information in here. So city, Kuya, select region, let's say Alberton, of course, my full name, my street address, let's just say and let's enter our contacts. And as you can see, the delivery fee can vary per region. So, and select our payment method, and let's just say I pick cash on delivery, and we can confirm the order. And as you can see, it has the order receipt, and we can actually print the receipt. Actually, we can see the transaction history by clicking this icon. We can go back home, and actually, we can the web page offers a return form, and we can leave this blank and submit return request. And as you can see, it generated a return request confirmation, and we can actually print this one as well. And lastly, we can sign this out and goes back to the user registration HTML. So that's it for our website, and thank you for listening.